Hello and welcome. Happy Wednesday, everyone. It's Karsmensky Podcast and your host, David Karsmensky, in my lunch break car news segment where I explore the most important car news that happened in the last 24 hours or since the last I posted my previous podcast. Today we have quite a few things to go through, including some interesting rumors and teasers, some new cars to talk about, and some official stuff. With that, let us get started. So let us begin with some rumors and teasers, and first up, we have yet another rumor of Apple car that seemed to have died when the Hyundai collaboration has ended, but now it looks like Nissan might be in the picture. There are rumors saying that Apple is now considering a few Japanese automakers, and Nissan is one of the key ones, with the negotiations at the farther stage than everyone else, and that is due because of the renowned Nissan-Mitsubishi alliance that has a pretty far reach to markets all over the world and has access to pretty good technology. If I'm honest, Nissan seems to be a little better choice because Hyundai is a bit more successful than Nissan these days, and they might be busy and they have the reputation in the line, where Nissan can be a little bit more scrappy and their participation with Apple could boost their brand image significantly, as it's not as good as it was, I would say personally. Well, we'll see if it materializes. For now, no, it's just a matter of rumors and conversation, nothing officially confirmed. Next up, some news or rumors about Audi, as they are planning allegedly to scrap the A1 model, the tiniest model, and either have Q2 as their smallest offering or bring a new electric A2. That will be based on the AI Me concept that was introduced in 2019. Audi said that it is costly to keep internal combustion engine models, especially as small as A1, as they barely bring any profits, if any, and Q2, being an SUV, has slightly larger margins. And shortly, with good technology available at Volkswagen Group with their modular platform, they definitely could introduce something the size of A2 as an electric smallish MPV. Obviously, these are all models that are specific to Europe and we don't get them in North America, but still shows that Audi is in consideration to kill some of its offerings and being pretty ruthless with it. Next up, a couple fresh rumors and teasers from Mercedes, beginning with Mercedes-Benz C-Class that's officially debuting on February 22nd. The new model is confirmed to be slightly bigger, with about an inch of more space in the legroom and half an inch bump in the headroom, which doesn't sound significant, but still could offer a bit more comfort for taller folks, as well as some S-Class influence, which is sort of like a bigger E-Class, which is sort of like a bigger C-Class. So as you can see, it all trickles down. You have the digital instrument cluster with a glass-inspired cockpit and very few buttons, so prepare to use a lot of touchscreens. In addition, it is pretty much confirmed that all C-Classes will be 4 cylinders. There will be turbo versions and hybrid versions as well. There should be a 9-speed automatic transmission and all-wheel drive available. So all of that will be seen on February 22nd. In addition, there are some spy shots of freshly spied EQS sedan, and it won't be really similar with S-Class in particular, even though it's called an electric S-Class, particularly in terms of design. The new spy shots revealed the upper portion of the car, which was previously camouflaged, and on this shot it is not, and they show a bit more of a slope to the roof, contrary to the regular sedan proportions, making it look more like a GT 4-door coupe or a CLS of sorts. So all of that should be revealed later this year, although we don't know when, but who knows, maybe eventually will be pushed to 2022. And a sort of reveal happened at Honda with the HR-V, or otherwise known as bezel. The pictures of the trademark filing have become available on the internet and showing us the exterior of HR-V before its debut on February the 18th. The pictures do indeed prove authentic as they match the teasers that Honda was putting out to the internet, but still no big surprises in there, I say. A pretty handsome crossover overall, and we'll see what it has to offer on February the 18th. Next up, we have an official teaser of Porsche Taycan Cross Turismo, which is the sibling of the regular Taycan in its wagon form that sits a little higher from the ground and a little bit more rugged, similar to Audi's all-road offering, with the plastic cladding on the trim and slightly higher clearance. This one was teased by previous Formula One driver Mark Webber, and he says he's pretty excited for this car, and I would say I am too if I had a chance to drive it, of course. The car is positioned to offer a bit more practicality than Taycan, but not too much because it's still quite a swoopy wagon with coupe proportions. So even though it will offer more space, that it won't be too much space, and potentially a Turbo and Turbo S models, if they do come, and I believe they will have slightly less cargo space, same as the regular Taycan. No official stats or trims are confirmed yet, but the car will be coming to European dealers in the summer and will be revealed before the end of March. Potentially European dealers will get this car first, with North America not far behind. And another official teaser, although not as revealing, is about the new V6 hybrid McLaren, the Artura, that is set to debut on February the 17th. It looks to be the first hybrid offering from McLaren. It will technically be a successor to 570S and will borrow the design from it, but will look slightly different based on the teaser images. The headlights appear to be a bit more complex, and while the roofline is pretty similar at the back, the exhausts actually sit higher up. The teaser with the interior showed a digital instrument cluster with multiple modes, including the one that shows the car's level of charge and available range. So for the performance, it should have a twin-turbo V6 paired to electric motor, both powering the rear axles, and the output should be around 600 horsepower, which is pretty good for the weight, and the car is not gaining too much with the addition of the hybrid architecture, but thanks to the new McLaren Carbon Lightweight Architecture, that's what it's called, and the weight gain is expected to be around 30 to 40 kilos only, and if it does offer low-end torque and instant acceleration, it will be not a significant addition to the weight. Anyway, February 17th is when we'll see the final model, and we'll see what McLaren has cooked up this time. And with that, the rumor and teaser section is done. Let's move on to some new cars. And the first one is pretty cool. It's the new Ford F-150, but it's not a real model. It's the F-150 Rocket League Edition. It's a virtual addition to the game that will be available only from February 20th to February 28th. And while it adopts the aesthetic of the game, meanwhile, it doesn't look like the real Ford F-150, but it still has the noticeable design cues like the front grille, the side profile, and the rear tail lights. Overall, it does resemble the Raptor, but at the same time does not, so I don't think Raptor really needs additional promotion, but it's a cool way to advertise the truck to the younger audience, which I'm sure already like it quite a bit. But not all cool trucks are virtual, some of them are indeed real, and one of those is coming from Land Rover Classic, which is building 25 heavily modified versions of the original Defender with a V8 in it. This truck celebrates the Camel Trophy, which took place annually from 1980 to 1998, in which modified Land Rover models raced across some of the harshest terrain in the world. And this truck does look like it can take a beating, although it will be pretty expensive, priced from 195,000 British pounds, but it is available in both 3-door and 5-door forms. It shares a power unit with a limited run Defender Works V8, packing a 5-liter gas V8, plus 8-speed automatic gearbox, having around 400 horsepower and 380 pound-feet of torque, and of course the original specification 4x4. It does look pretty cool on the outside. It has a retro-inspired shade of Eastnor yellow with black contrasting, which looks traditional and cool at the same time. It has the 16-inch color-coded steel wheels, based on the original Defender, of course, and customers can specify personalized competition graphics. Of course, there are off-road upgrades to Defender as well, which include a winch, heavy-duty roof rack, underbody protection, LED spotlights, and chunky off-road tires. Of course, with special models come special invites, and all buyers will be invited to a 3-day off-roading expedition at Eastnor Castle later this year. So overall, a very great truck coming from Land Rover Classic, and I'm sure they'll find their buyers. The quantities are limited. There only will be 25 of these. Next up, a pretty cool car from a different universe, Bugatti Centro 10, has finally received a prototype. The car was unveiled back in the summer of 2019, but the official prototype is coming only now, and Bugatti has revealed the shots of the prototype, which has pretty bare sheet metal without the body paneling, revealing the insides of Centro 10. Of course, the shot revealed a ton of carbon fiber and a lot of piping that powers the car, and a lot of thermal management with 5 radiators at least. The car is promised to produce 1578 horsepower from the monstrous W16 and will be 44 pounds lighter than the Chiron. Bugatti also claims that the car will hit 0 to 100 km per hour in 2.4 seconds, and the top speed will be 380 km an hour or 238 miles per hour. There will be 10 of these models coming, with the first deliveries happening in 2022, and the starting price was 8 million euros, and of course, all of them already have been sold. If you remember, this week I announced there's a second Mansory model that's based on the 2021 Ford GT. Well, Ford has shown that it can be more aesthetically pleasing inside the house, unveiling the 2021 Ford GT Studio Edition in black and red. Looking very sharp and definitely much better than Le Mansory. This will be a black example with red accents, which looks spectacular in any combination and looks really good on the Ford GT. And this particular example was customized and was built by Ford's motorsport division Multimatic that builds the cars in Canada. In other good news, 2021 GT also gained a little more power through its 3.5-liter V6, and now it delivers 660 horsepower in all trim levels. I also bet it costs a portion of the price of Le Mansory, and, might remind you again, looks much better than Le Mansory. Next up, a quick mention of Maserati MC20, well, specifically its engine called Nettuno, which was the first in-house built Maserati engine ever since they switched from Ferrari engines, and will feature a 620 horsepower turbocharged V6. The company is now saying that the engine will be specific to MC20 and was built for that model only, as it offers absolutely no electrification and some interesting technology. And that technology will actually be used in some other models coming from Maserati. But still, very interesting to see that all this money went into research and build of a new engine, which will be used apparently only for MC20. We'll wait and see, I guess. But with all talk of supercars, we can't get too excited, so let's go back a little bit to Earth with a facelifted Nissan NV300 Combi, which I believe is specific to Europe. I've never heard it of anywhere outside of it, and it will be based on Renault Traffic van and will be built in the same French factory. Well, this one was updated, and Nissan has been updating its models lately, and that's a rather handsome, what's called Combi, I call it van, and features the new face that's resembling all the other models in Nissan profile, and overall was just technologically refreshed. Inside of NV300 you get 9 seats with under-seat storage, and additionals on some versions you get deep storage compartment with 54 liters of space, which is quite a bit. Overall, the car is looking for transitish, but definitely more handsome, and now it is available in Europe. And while our trip back to solid Earth was short, let's talk about something out of this space, the new Hyundai Tiger X1. Tiger stands for Transforming Intelligent Ground Excursion Robot, and is exactly what it sounds, a investigative robot that you can send anywhere in Mars or Jupiter or even Moon or Earth. And this is pretty much an all-terrain exploration robot that can be used for even deliveries or emergency applications. So Tiger features all-wheel drive and is able to climb over obstacles such as stairs, potholes, anything you can imagine pretty much. There's also what's called a 360-degree locomotion, which means the wheels can turn independently of one another, allowing for forward and side-to-side movement as well as easy rotation. It is possible to equip the Tiger with a camera as well, proving its surveillance applications, but Hyundai says that it was designed as a mobile scientific exploration program. So, with that, we'll keep it at end. But I won't end the episode before another Porsche Taycan record is mentioned. It really seems like the company took out the record book and circled everything they could beat. The recent is the indoor speed record, and I'm not referring to that video of a guy crashing Taycan in a dealership. This is legit, and they set it inside of a warehouse. Interestingly, the previous record was set in 2011 with 500,000 Ford Fiesta Rallycross, which featured 560 horsepower in a very tiny car, and at that time it reached 87 miles per hour, or 140 kilometers an hour, and this time Taycan was able to do 102.6 miles an hour, or 165.2 kilometers an hour. Porsche did say that the record was fairly dangerous, as driving at high speeds on a polished concrete is almost like driving over ice. Of course, on ice you usually have vast distance and not as many obstacles, but in this one, since it was at a warehouse, there were quite a few poles around. Interestingly, the record was set in a single attempt, although the tires were original and preheated, and interestingly, Turbo S didn't have the headlights, and when asked why, according to the record needs to be done on non-homologated cars, so Porsche just simply took out the headlights and just went off with that. I'm sure a lot of the companies just didn't remember about this obscure record, and the likes of Tesla and Lucid and Porsche 911s and others will try to beat it. And this is all I have for today. Pretty fun episode today with some fresh news about the new Nissan and Apple car, the F-150 Rocket League, and of course the Taycan speed record. Thank you very much for enjoying this. If you're looking for earlier news that I haven't mentioned, feel free to check out earlier episodes because I'm pretty much up to date with the record, with news that happen every day. So I do encourage you to check them out. As a reminder, these episodes do come out Monday to Friday in the afternoon, and on the weekend we expect a special episode on a topic. So thank you very much for listening one more time, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Stay tuned and take care. Bye bye.